public money must be used for public good. Peter Obi. Peter Obi just said what I have just quoted, that public money must be used for public good. And this is one of his concept of life. He believed that public money belong to the government, should not be used for individuals and should not be used for private businesses. Public money should be used for public goods, for collective well-being of the people that this money in the first place was meant for. This is the philosophy of Peter Obi, and this is why a lot of people have said that he is stingy. Remember why one of the presidential candidates was campaigning. He said, don't vote for Peter Obi because he is stingy. And Peter Obi has come out to say that he is not a stingy man. You could remember he was impeached as a governor. And the reason why he was impeached, that is what we are going to talk about today. Was he stingy, or was he just being prudent with public fund? Well, Peter Obi has said that why he came to Anambra State as the governor, he met a state that was devastated. How the official government house was burnt down. The government lodge was also burnt down. In fact, Anambra was in a chaos. So he now decided that the first thing he should do, meeting a state that was not buoyant, was to be prudent in spending. And this, I want to say it, if you are a Nigerian, most of our government parastatals are not prudent in spending. In fact, we believe that if your brother becomes a councillor, if your brother becomes a minister, a commissioner, a governor, in fact, that office, he has to do something for the family. If not, he will be called a useless man. Imagine me having a brother as a governor. In fact, I will go readily asking him to give me contracts. And I might do the contract because knowing fully well that at the end of the day, the final report will get to my brother. That is how Nigeria has been run for the past 60 years. Nigeria has been run like that. A lot of people will call it uno ma. In Spanish, it is called enchufe, which means plug. So this was what Anambra State was like when this man came. Peter Obi said that the state has no money. So he said the first official government house. Official government house. So he wanted to build the office and the government house. And before he came, the office, they have budgeted 298 million for his office. So he came, he said, no, this is just too much. At the end of the day, using contractors of his kind that he trusted so well, he was able to build the office for 43 million. Imagine, initial budget was 298 million. At the end of the day, he used 43 million. He saved close to 230 something million. Then in the government house, they budgeted 486 million for the government house, which of course we'll call the government lodge. he now used 81 million. Remember, 486 million was budgeted, and he now used 81 million, which means he saved over 400 million. He also said that they told him that they wanted to import bed and furnitures for the government lodge. He said no. He knows a lot of furniture guys in Aba that will do exclusive furniture. So he gave that contract to a local furniture maker who provided the furniture for the lodge. And as for the office, he said the former governor, there was a table set aside that they said were bad. He went around and checked it, and the table was just good. It was just pure dust that have matted the table. So he said, no, I'm not buying a table. I'm going to use the old table since it is still very good and will be functional. That is the reason people call him stingy. Personally, he came to a state that was in a chaos, financially and otherwise. And he had little money. He was just being prudent with the money in the government coffer of Anambra State. Then another reason, the presidential lodge. He said when Obasanjo, because his tenure also run with the time our former head of state, Obasanjo, was there. He said Obasanjo said he wanted to visit Anambra State. And they don't have presidential lodge. And the State House of Assembly said that to build a presidential lodge, it will cost Anambra State government 1 billion naira. So he said, the president does not stay in Anambra State. He's just coming, probably for 2 weeks. He said, no, that is too much. So he now told the presidential aides that I am going to leave my government house, that's the state lodge, the governor's lodge. I will vacate that lodge for Mr. President. And I will go to the hotel across the government house and lodge there. When the president finally is through with his visit and gone, I will come back. And like we said, the president stayed not even up to a week, I think about 4 days. So he was lodging in the hotel that was opposite and probably paying 150,000 for a day. So if you calculate the 4 days, he must have spent 600,000 naira. And he has saved Anambra State 1 billion that will have been used for the presidential lodge, which the president might visit once in 4 years. So, and finally, he said, he told his cabinet that Anambra must save. He said Anambra as a state must save, that they must save 5% of their budgets. And this did not go down well with the people in government. These are those in the judicial system and those in the legislative arm. So they said that it is not in the constitution of the state to save. That this is a new measure that is introducing. That Peter Obi is working outside the constitution, because the constitution does not say that 5% should be saved. Everything as it comes should be shared. So the question I want to ask you guys out there, we agree it was not in the constitution to save 5% of the budget. But was it bad for a state that was just picking up, that have financial constraint? You see, people are opposed to changes, especially when these changes are new. And I'm sure when Peter Obi becomes the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, many people will be opposed to his approach, to his ideas. Because if you look at his campaign now, this is just a new style of campaigning. And if you look at the level of discipline, Peter Obi has raised the standard. Peter Obi has raised the standard. So that now, even this government in power, Buhari, are beginning to be a little bit shaky. That if you notice now, they try as much as possible to explain things a little bit more. They are a little bit more concerned about the ordinary citizen than they used to be. So it is no longer business as usual. So these are the reasons why people say Peter Obi was stingy. While in office, Peter Obi scrapped out the office of the first lady because it was not in the constitution. And that was what they hold against him. So because of all these things he implements, he was impeached. And good enough, we'll still have some right-thinking judges. So when the case came to the court, the Supreme Court, the judge looked at the whole thing and said, this is not enough to impeach somebody. Saving, though it is not in the Constitution, but there's nothing bad. And that is why, remember, Nigeria, at the time of the Gulf War, Nigeria was making a lot of money from oil. A lot of money. And if we have saved 10% then, probably today we would not have borrowed 77 trillion naira. Probably we would not have borrowed that amount. So that now, you and I, we are owing over 350,000 naira, going by how much Nigeria is owing. So if you look at the whole business of the thing, there is this saying that he who blows the whistle determines how the masquerade will dance. So the situation Nigeria is now, the economic buhaha, the economic hardship that Nigeria is now, it is this stingy policy that Nigeria needs. And that is why 133 million Nigerians are running after Peter Obi. 133 million that is below poverty line have decided that Peter Obi is the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria come next month. Because we are aware that to get out of this economic hardship, we have to make a plan and we have to save. So if it's the first time you're coming across this channel, this is Ini TV. We are global and social commentators. Like we say, we are Obi-centric. This channel is for this month and next month for Sir Peter Gregory Obi, for Obi Dati movement, for the Labour Party. We will not stop asking you guys out there that Peter Obi is the best man for the job. Even the few things the opponents have used against him, that he is stingy, is even a plus to the kind of man and the kind of government he's going to operate. So if it's the first time you're coming across this channel, we'll ask you to please subscribe. Subscribe to this channel. Let's hit the 2,000 mark. Remember, the more we have, the merrier it is. Just as Wike will say, as it is sweet us, it will depend them. So let's come out en masse and join the moving train. This is our own contribution to market Peter Obi, the best candidate for all the presidential contestants come 2023 presidential election. And the only way you could help us is to subscribe to this channel, like and comment too. Remember, life is a two-way traffic. And for our returning subscribers, we'll say thank you, and thank you. Remember, we love you, but God loves you most. As it is in this channel, we'll catch you when we make the next video. Until then, we'll say chooks, adios, au revoir, ciao, hasta la vista, bye-bye.